Why do some people try so hard to provoke you? They want to control your emotions, your peace, and your energy. But what if I told you that true strength lies in silence? It might sound strange, right? But silence is actually the most powerful weapon you can wield. Keanu Reeves once shared a profound perspective on silence. And in this video, I'll show you how silence isn't just about choosing not to react, but rather about forcing others to face the consequences of their own actions. Stick around until the end to discover how silence can become your strongest ally. When someone disrespects you, it's crucial to understand that this isn't an accident. It's a deliberate choice. They know exactly what they're doing. Every word, every action is calculated before it's carried out. They don't just want to hurt you. Deep down, they want you to react. They want to see you lose control. They want to witness your pain and your response because in that moment, they feel like they've won. When someone disrespects you, it's not just about offending you. They want to see you lose your composure. They want to see you angry, to see you cry, or even to see you chase after them, demanding an explanation, an apology. It's because they want to control your emotions to dominate your energy and mood. And when you react, they feel victorious because they've made you feel small, weak, and out of control. They understand that when you face them with anger or any other emotion, you're giving them control. You've allowed them to dominate your life and your mind. This is why they do it. They don't just disrespect you. They want to use you as a tool to assert their power. Each act of disrespect is a means for them to claim dominance. They understand that as long as you're expressing emotion, they feel stronger, and when you react, they take control of your position in their life. So, when you're insulted, what they're really hoping for is that you'll let them manipulate your emotions, that you'll lose your inner peace and your emotional self-control. But here's where you can turn everything around. The key to remember is that you don't have to react. You don't have to let them control you anymore. Your silence is the most powerful strategy you can adopt. When you don't respond, you're taking back control over yourself. They can't manipulate your emotions, and in that moment, you're standing firm in your own self-control. Silence isn't surrender or weakness, it's strength. It's a declaration that you won't let anyone disturb your inner peace. Silence is power, and this power is so profound that you don't even need to speak to prove yourself. Silence isn't merely a lack of response. It forces the other person to reconsider, to doubt their own actions. When you stay silent, you're not just protecting your emotions and your peace, you're also making the person who disrespects you face themselves. And sometimes, that's the heaviest punishment you can give them. Silence is a strategic choice. Imagine someone disrespecting you and hoping to provoke a reaction. They want you to lose control, to lose your emotional composure, because in that moment, they feel powerful. But when you don't respond, when you refuse to show any signs of hurt or dissatisfaction, you've regained complete control. They can no longer rely on your reaction to validate their sense of victory. Your silence forces them to pause and question, why aren't they reacting? Why are my words having the effect I expected? And in that moment, you've taken back your power. Not only have you stopped them from controlling your emotions, but you've made them feel that they no longer have any power over you. But it doesn't stop there. Silence also forces them to face their own words and actions. When they speak disrespectfully, they're not only offending you, they're also hurting themselves. Your silence acts as a mirror, reflecting their actions back at them, forcing them to confront what they've done. They know they've crossed a line, and your silence serves as a reminder of the mistake they've made. They can't blame you or anyone else because you didn't give them the reaction they wanted. That's how you make them feel the emptiness within themselves, because they failed to steal your peace of mind. This is the true power of silence. It not only helps you maintain your calm, but it also forces those who disrespect you to face themselves. When you remain silent, you're not just stopping them from manipulating your emotions. You're making them confront the truth, that they were wrong, that they don't control you. They can no longer live in the illusion that they can hurt you and make you react. They'll have no choice but to reflect on what they've done. And that's when they'll experience the pain, the regret. By not responding, you've made them feel the harshest punishment, their own powerlessness and the futility of their actions. Those who disrespect you are not as strong as they appear. In reality, they're battling deep insecurities within themselves. When they attack you, when they speak hurtful words or act with contempt, they're merely reflecting their own inner pain. Behind every disrespectful word is confusion and self-doubt they can't resolve. They seek to belittle you not because you're weak, but because they feel weak. They try to hurt you to feel stronger, to deceive themselves into believing they have power, that they don't have to face their own emotional wounds. Disrespect is a way for these people to escape the insecurities and failures they face in their own lives. Instead of confronting their deep fears, they choose to attack others because for a brief moment, it makes them feel in control. But the truth is, they're avoiding facing themselves, their unresolved failures, and their unfulfilled dreams. They fear that if they face their pain, they won't have the strength to rise again. So they deflect, blame others, and try to make you feel unworthy in an attempt to ease their own feelings of insecurity. So what happens when you don't react? Your silence is not just a refusal to engage in their game. It's a devastating blow to the illusion they've been nurturing. They expect you to respond, to raise your voice, to become tense, angry. That reaction would make them feel like they still have control, like they can still make you lose your composure. But when you stay silent, you regain control over yourself. And that's when they have to confront their own weaknesses. They can no longer blame you, no longer project their fears and failures onto you. They will have to face themselves and feel the emptiness, the sense that they're running away from who they really are. Your silence is a stronger response than any words could ever be. When you don't react, they can no longer use you as a mirror to reflect their own weakness. They will have to confront themselves, face the unresolved fears and feelings of failure that they dare not acknowledge. And this will make them feel insecure because your silence denies them the control they crave. They will feel like they've lost their power, and that's when they begin to doubt themselves. Remember, when you don't react, you're not weak or defeated. You're the strongest one in this situation. You've learned how not to let your emotions be manipulated, how not to allow someone else's words to disturb the peace within you. And when you stay silent, you're not just protecting yourself. You're making the other person face the very things they fear most about themselves. What's crucial to understand is that when you don't respond, you don't just strip them of their control over you. You place them in a position where they must reflect on their actions. Without your reaction, they can no longer maintain the illusion that they hold any power. They will see their own weakness, realize they've been avoiding their own truths. In that moment, they're powerless to turn back. Your silence is the strongest response, a wordless revenge, because while they're busy trying to hurt you, you're building a life they can't touch. Disrespect isn't your problem, it's theirs. You don't have to let their actions affect your life. This is their battle with themselves, not with you. Let them face their own insecurity and failures, while you remain silent and keep moving forward, stronger and more resolute than ever before. Karma is one of the most powerful forces in the universe. It doesn't always appear immediately, but it will come, and when it does, it won't miss anyone. Those who disrespect you may feel comfortable in the moment. They may think they've won, that their actions will go unpunished. But don't rush to worry or seek revenge. Karma isn't hasty, but it is always accurate. We may not see the punishment right away, but one day, what they've sown will come back to them. That's the ultimate fairness of the universe. You don't have to do anything. Don't feel like you need to rush into a fight or prove your point. Karma will come at the right moment, when they least expect it. You're not the one who needs to enforce justice. Karma will take care of everything. Those who have disrespected you, who have belittled you, will face consequences they cannot avoid. All you need to do is live your life, keep moving forward, and trust that the universe will handle the rest. You don't need to harbor hatred or seek revenge. Just be patient, because karma is always at work. Those who have offended you may think they won't have to pay the price immediately, that they've escaped punishment. But the truth is, karma doesn't follow human time. It doesn't need to happen right away. Sometimes the consequences take time, but when they do come, they will be far more painful than anything you could have imagined. They won't be able to escape the repercussions of their actions. And that's what makes karma a justice that cannot be argued with. You don't need to stand there watching them face the consequences because your life will go on. What matters is that you've done the right thing and you've not let their disrespect affect your soul. Karma doesn't need words or actions from you. It operates quietly and precisely. Every time someone hurts you, they're creating a cycle they can't escape from. Even if they think they've won the moment, they don't realize that the harm they caused you will eventually come back to them. When you don't react, when you stay silent and continue with your life, you create a space of peace for yourself, not allowing their disrespect to affect you. As for them, they will have to live with their thoughts, their insecurities, and the self-doubt of their own actions. Remember, when karma arrives, it doesn't make choices. It doesn't care if you're waiting for the consequences to come. It will show up at the right time, when they least expect it. The disrespect you've received might make you angry, but never forget that you don't need to deal with it. Karma is a powerful and fair force. It doesn't need your help. You just need to live right and trust in the universe's justice. Without a doubt, those who have hurt you will eventually face justice, not from you, but from the very life they've created. When karma speaks, there will be no room for doubt. Those who have disrespected you'll have to face their own regret. They will feel the punishment they couldn't foresee. And at that moment, you'll simply continue on your path. Not because you want revenge, but because you understand that justice will always prevail. Karma is the perfect reckoning for all wrongdoings. Trust that, in the end, justice will always be present and no one can escape it. Silence is not weakness. It's wisdom and a hidden strength that not everyone understands. When faced with disrespectful words, your choice not to respond doesn't mean you have nothing to say. It means you understand there's no need to argue with people who aren't worthy of your time. Your silence is the strongest affirmation that you won't let anyone shake your confidence or your sense of worth. What they fail to understand is that you don't need to prove anything to them. You know your value, and you understand that sometimes silence is the most powerful way to show them they have no right to hurt you. We live in a world where, at times, people seek recognition from others without realizing that the greatest form of recognition must come from within themselves. When you remain silent and don't react to disrespect, you're not just protecting yourself, but you're also showing the world that you are not easily shaken. What makes your silence even more powerful is when you turn it into the drive to build a better, more successful life. Silence is not surrender. It's a way to channel your energy into what truly matters, allowing you to keep striving and growing, rather than wasting your energy on meaningless arguments. Silence and success are the most powerful responses you can give. When you don't react, those who disrespect you will no longer have the chance to see you angry, broken, or weak. They won't be able to control your emotions as they hoped. And in that silence, you're creating a space to focus on bigger goals. You begin building a life that no one can influence. And when you achieve success, those who once disrespected you will have no choice but to remain silent. Your success will be the greatest answer to the words or actions they've thrown at you. And by then, you won't need to argue or justify yourself. Your success will speak for itself, and at that point, they will have no reason to try and bring you down. Success doesn't just come from what you achieve materially or the recognition of others. Success is about rising up, becoming a better version of yourself every day, and not letting others hinder your progress. When you don't react, you're choosing the path of elevation, not pointless struggle. Disrespectful words lose their value when you create a life that no one can take away from you. Success is what those who have disrespected you will have to witness from afar. And at that point, all their words will become meaningless. That is the strongest response you can give. Finally, remember that your silence and success are the clearest proof of your strength. Those who once disrespected you, who try to pull you down, will have to face your success as a mirror reflecting back the very things they did to you. When you stand firm, when you continue on your path and achieve greatness, they won't be able to diminish your worth. Your success is the most powerful weapon, and silence is the perfect tool to lead you to those successes. When you don't need to explain, when you don't need to argue, you have truly won. And that's how you prove that respect cannot be forced. It can only be earned through your actions and achievements. Thank you for watching until the end of the video. I hope the insights shared about the power of silence and the fairness of karma have given you a strong sense of motivation to face every challenge in life. As Keanu Reeves once said, silence is how you take back control and assert your true self. Don't let anyone steal your peace. Remember, the greatest strength comes from calmness within. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you won't miss out on future videos.